The other things that we use is what we call the KNOW-THYSELF system. So everybody's heard of an aura, have we? Yeah? Everybody heard of an electromagnetic field? Yeah? Yeah? Have you heard of an electromagnetic? Yeah. So auras, we've got trained people who can see our auras. Everyday people cannot see it. They can if they're tuned into it, but just as a natural thing, you will not see your aura. Electromagnetic field, in that field is information. That information is everywhere. It's again attracting and attaching to your subconscious mind and everything that you see. If you've got a pattern that it wants to magnet to and come in and cause something in your life, an impact, it can cause, in that field, it causes what we call a distortion, okay? That then becomes a dis-ease in the body. So your body starts thinking, oh, something's not right, okay? Once it's coming into your body, we've then got a symptom. And so doctors will treat the symptom. We need to treat what's caused it in the first place. The KNOW-THYSELF system will find that for you, okay? So I'll show you this image. When I scanned a gentleman before, this is the device that I would scan with. So you hold that on your hand, it takes 0.3 seconds or whatever just to scan your field, okay? It's just a device like a remote control. These bars on the end here, these are actually picking up the field. And then what happens is, it'll scan the field and it will show me exactly where the blockages are in your body. And this is a guy that I did earlier. He said, I don't know if you can see that. I'll come round. So, that's showing me his blockages. Now each one of those blockages are related to an emotional, something emotional in his life, okay? And when I read it to him, he was like, oh my gosh. And he was a medium actually. He goes, oh my gosh. He didn't realise. He knew, but he had no way of pinpointing where they were. Okay? The one near the bottom is about letting go. Okay, it's quite strategically placed there. But it's about letting go. And he was holding on to a lot of things in his life, which he said he was, but no one knew, only him. And so he's got a blockage there. But even if he tried, he'd never get rid of it because it's blocked. So what this does then, find out where the blockage is and we unblock. We can unblock with the frequency, because when you've got a blockage, that frequency is in fuzz. Okay? So we need to bring you back into the coherent. So it finds that frequency and then unblocks the energy. Now you can get reblocked because we're full of toxins and stuff out here. Other screens will show you on here is environmental toxins that are in his body, which he was quite, oh my gosh. Again, all the red things on there, can you see it? Can you see the light on there? All the red things are basically how the body is not doing well with those environmental toxins. His microwave on there, his car fumes on there. His body can't cope with it, you see. And so he's wondering why he's breathless and he can't breathe and all that sort of thing, because he's got blockages within his body, within his system. Can you see that? And then the next one that we've got nutrition. So what we do is we look at a nutrition on here as well. These are the things that his body cannot metabolise or absorb. So he could be taking the best vitamins in the world, doesn't matter, because his body cannot metabolize them or absorb these nutritions. So what this does, it looks at you as in a subcellular level. It looks at what's going on. So we would look at that, we'd unblock, and then we'd treat, and we've got what we call correction drops. Any of you heard of the guy called Dr. Emoti, who's the guy who does the water structure?
I used to work with him.
Oh, did you really?
Yes.
Wow.
I was part of the IHM organisation out of Japan.
Oh my God, wow. Amazing, because he is something else who's discovered the water, as you know, how we can structure the water and change its form.
No.
So the drops that we use with the KNOW-THYSELF system, they've changed the structure of the water to have the frequency of the organ at its optimum health. So what it does is you take the so many drops for a month of this particular one, if it's your kidneys or your lungs or whatever that is showing some disease there. You would take the corrective drops, the water, because we're made up of 95% water, in fact probably more because our cells are all water as well. But we would then, it can go straight through the area. It hasn't got to start getting rid of shedding all the toxins from the coating on a tablet and all that sort of stuff first. It's pure water, but it's structured specifically to go to the distortion. So it's like going from here to London. The M25 is blocked. So what do? You're either going to have to go on a diversion. So everything's time. Our cells have got to get, everything that you eat, everything that you do has got to get to your organ in your body at a specific time. If it does not get there at that specific time, it's going to cause a distortion. It's going to mutate. It's going to do something because it's not been able to get through. It's been blocked on the M25. I can't get there. What we're going to do? Ugh. So over here we've not got the information, and what we're going to do? So we can't work today. Everyone's on strike, and so the body starts to shut down, and you then start to feel lethargic. You start to feel tired. You start to feel headaches. All these things. Why? Because the information hasn't got to your cells at that right time. This is what this does. It gets the information, clears your M25, but we've got to peel you back like an onion. So it's not as simple as saying, oh, that's fine, because we've got to peel you back. So the M25 might have been blocked, but there's been about 6 or 7 roads that were blocked to get to the M25 in the first place. And then we're going to get to London. So, you know, that's what it's a process. We've got to look at you and bring you back. So, all it does is putting your body back into its natural self-healing. Okay, that's the nest health. I also look at your voice. Our voice carries its own frequency, and we have musical keys in our voice. It's like a piano. And basically, if we're resonating at C sharp all the time, you normally tend to get those types of people who are quite narcissistic because they've got no other keys there. They're just playing this ego, and and when you look at them, you can see that type of thing. But it also can show what your body is deficient, what frequency do you need in your body to play the tune in harmony, to play and have your own harmonious frequency going. Because when you're playing in harmony, you attract what you're playing, the people who like your music. Okay? When you're playing in disharmony, you attract people who don't like your music and they're going to tell you about it. Argumentative people and all that sort of that come into your life. So the voice one looks at, just recording your voice, it looks at, but it also finds any ailments that are lurking, either that are present or that could be coming in over in the future if we don't tune you. And it could be as simple as if your body needs B sort of like a B minor or whatever, you would just either listen to that sound, or you would find vitamins with that in, and you would just hold them because it can change your frequency. So Answer Well looks at fine-tuning you, reprogramming, resetting, and sort of like making sure that you're all kind of working in harmony with what you were born with your own vibrational frequency, which is in your date of birth. Any questions? See, there's lots more, but I don't want to overload anymore. But to me, it's just trying to get you to understand exactly the deep level that we work on to bring you up to that maximum state of well-being and health, which is what we're all here for. Any questions? It's difficult because you try to give information enough for you to think about, then you can overload with the information. But I know if you're in that world of all the stuff, and I know you are, so and I know you know, I'm not sure about yourself. You and yourself, have you heard about these kinds of modalities before? No. So what I was saying earlier, because I know you came a little bit late, is that when and I'm so happy that you've come in, so thank you very much, because what happens is when you coming into these talks, the reason is because you're not aware of these modalities that are out there. And so we stick to the known, and if you stick to the known, you're going to get just the same results. As soon as you step out of the known and into the unknown, it's a field of possibility, and it's like, oh my gosh. But you can never get harmed in the field of possibility because it's all about giving you what you need. But we tend to, as a race, stick with what everybody else is doing, and let me see what you're doing first. If it works for you, I'll do it. We kind of get it, we've been wired and programmed to be like that, and it's not about that at all, because we're all individuals. What works on a friend or a mother or a daughter may not work on you. Why? Because you're not them. Another reason you've not got that vibrational frequency. You know, the other way, you're not programmed them. They weren't you from 0 to 7. So although these things work, I'm not saying they don't, but it's also about trying something out there that's got the scientific evidence now, because it's not new. It's been going for years and years and years, centuries and centuries and centuries. But it's not been allowed to have, doesn't need scientific evidence really, but the society we're in, they want the science behind it. So now the science has come and backed us all up and validated it and said this is how it does, this is how it works. So we know it works and we can prove it. But it's the field of the unknown. So when we do these talks, we're trying to hopefully give you a little bit more of an insight as to what it is, because they are so helpful, and the energy, it's just like tapping into the best source of energy that you can without getting burnt from the sun. You know what I mean? You're like, you're plugged in all the time, and it's going to come in and it's going to fill your body, and those cells are going to go, yay! You know what I mean? It's like, and you see, don't you, some people walking around just, what happy pill are they taking? You know, but they're happy on life. And the reason they're happy on life is because they've actually tuned in and tapped into the source that can provide that. And that's what these systems do. They will provide it, but there's a bit of hard work that we've got to do to get you there in the first place, because we've got to rewire what's already been programmed and wired into your system. But the good news is it feels fantastic while you're actually doing it. You do get some, a bit uneasy, but you know, we have to do that sometimes to get to the place where we need to get to. It's like, if we're getting lost, you might have to go through a few dead ends before you get to your journey. It doesn't stop you still going to get to the journey, especially if you're on holiday. You've got to get there, and you're going back home, and it took you 2 weeks. You need to get to where you're going to get to. Same sort of thing. So if you want to come upstairs, because we're now upstairs in the therapies, and have more of a chat, or just have a look more in depth of the other things that we do and have a bit more of a talk, then please feel free to do so, because I've got to be letting somebody else come in a second anyway. If not, there's a leaflet on the chair there. I'm at the end of the phone. A lot of the work can be done either Skype, one-to-one, if you're so far away, or I do go and do groups if you get a few people together, and I can come down and do it. I'm going to, is it Skegness, what that guy said where he is?
Yeah.
In Skegness, 2 hours away from where I live, but there's a few people, so I'm going to go down and I'll do a day there. So, you know, don't let that deter you for wherever you live. I can come, and, you know, if we can get a few people around, that's fine. Or we can do it one-to-one over Skype. This can be sent to you as a remote device, not this particular one, but I have a remote device where I can send it to you. You scan yourself, it comes to my computer, and I can read it from there, and I can do them anywhere in the world. Put this on broadcast, and I can zap you from my house. As long as my intention is where your blockage is, I don't actually physically have to be with you. It's nicer to be, because you can feel the kind of frequency coming through, and it's a nicer, a wellness feeling, but you don't physically have to be there. Human Blueprint, I can do those over the phone and Skype as well. My son Wesley, he does the blueprints as well, you know, he does his version of them. So there's lots of ways you can actually get access to the material that we do without having to think, well, she's too far away, or this, that and the other. And if you don't understand, and I've said too much, or you've still got to digest, just pick up the phone and say, oh, Martina, was that your talk? Can you just explain this? Of course I will. If I don't pick up, I will always get back to you. So I'm with clients, but I leave a message, I will always get back to you. And because to me, it's important that everybody feels comfortable and knows exactly what's out there and what can help you. Okay? And thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Thank you. But you're glad you came now, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the unknown.
Yes.
You see, you went into but there was a reason, the frequency.
We had looked it up, but when we were trying to book tickets beforehand, we were like, oh, that clashes with that, and that clashes with that, and we didn't know that we were